So welcome everyone to the recognition of prior learning info session. I'm just going to give a few minutes for everyone to log in. While we do that, feel free to put in the chat box. I know we have a lot of people joining from across Canada, so if you want to say hello and let us know where you are, that would be nice.
Looks like we're reaching almost coast to coast, Mariana, Newfoundland to Alberta.
So before I start, I just want to let everyone know that recognition of prior learning is a national program. We are doing this presentation specifically for Newfoundland and Labrador members and Nova Scotia members. However, this is a national program, so it's going to be applicable to all members across Canada. But we will, suggest that you get in touch with your local institute should you have more questions or want to know how to register. They're always the best people for you to reach out to. So Supply Chain Canada. Supply Chain Canada is mainly an association for supply chain professionals. And we are here together because we believe that supply chain professionals can advance the future. For 100 years, Supply Chain Canada has been the country's largest association for supply chain professionals. If you go to our website, there's a really interesting page with the history of Supply Chain Canada, and then you'll get to see how it was formed since the beginning more than 100 years ago. We are an association that represents over 7,500 management professionals in end-to-end supply chain. So Supply Chain Canada has a vision to ensure Canadian supply chain professionals and organizations that they are recognized for leading innovation, global competitiveness, and driving economic growth. So our mission is to provide leadership to the supply chain community and to provide value to all members and advance the profession. And we do that mainly through feeding education. So we believe that education empowers the profession, and by investing in career-long learning and curated information, we create the knowledge and skill competencies necessary to succeed in our industry. So for that, we have three main arms. So we have the Supply Chain Management Professional Designation, which we're going to be talking about today. We also have several continuous professional development opportunities that we strive to offer every year. And we have the Supply Management Training Program. Now I'm going to pass it over to Tiffany. She's the Executive Director with the Nova Scotia Institute of Supply Chain Canada, and she's going to walk us through and give us a little overview of the SCMP program.
Thank you, Mariana. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. With the RPL program in place, I find there's always a lot of questions from people looking to join the SCMP program and kind of where the RPL will land them within the program. So it's good to have a strong understanding of all the different components and topics that we cover. So the program's designed to be completed in 3 to 5 years, as it's designed to be completed alongside while you're working. When I did mine, I was working full-time, gaining experience in the program, or gaining experience in the profession, as well as gaining knowledge and experience via education. So the program's composed of 8 modules and 6 interactive workshops. The modules are 7 to 13 weeks, and those are done online. And then the 6 interactive workshops are 2 to 4 days each. And those are typically done in person. With the onset of the pandemic, those have moved to more of online format. Following the modules and the interactive workshops is the SCMP Leadership Residency. So the Leadership Residency is a 4-day interactive experience, which has historically been held in person, but the last 2 years we moved it virtual because of the pandemic. And that experience is integrates and advances knowledge from the modules and the interactive workshops hones in on management leadership skills, and prepares the candidates for the final component of the program, which is the final examination. The final exam is a one-day online case-based exam. Now I just want to backpedal a little back to the modules. So the modules don't have to be completed in order. The modules can be completed in, as they fit within your schedule or fit within, what you're doing currently at work or what you're looking to grow your skill set in most. The one thing we do recommend people take first is module 1, which is the supply chain management, because that really lays the foundation for the case study work that comprises most of the program. You'll do a lot of case studies throughout the program. So we do highly recommend people take that module 1 first, just so you can get a good solid grasp on that case study framework. So why become an SCMP? So the SCMP, be acknowledged as a strategic leader, decision maker, authority in the industry, advance yourself in your career, earn the most respected credential in supply chain management. Employers more and more are asking for the SCMP certification when hiring in supply chain management roles. And designation earners or designation holders earn on average 22% more annually than those without the designation. And gain access to top leaders throughout the world through the Supply Chain Canada network and relationships with organizations such as ASCM and NASCO. If you don't mind bumping me, thank you. So the program offers advanced training and competency-based, strategically aligned and dynamic. As I had mentioned previously, I did jump ahead, I apologize. Prepares graduates for management and senior management roles. It's the only accreditation program that covers end-to-end supply chain, including aspects of supply chain management and soft skills. It's the first accredited program by the Canadian Supply Chain Sector Council and the only Canadian program accredited by International Federation of Purchasing and Supply Chain Management. So admission requirements. Those applying to the designation must satisfy the following. So membership in Supply Chain Canada is mandatory for those in the SCMP program, as well as maintaining your SCMP actor membership is mandatory. Language proficiency, so where neither language nor French is your native language, the Canadian language benchmark proficiency of level 6 or higher must be demonstrated, and a degree or diploma in a business-related field from a recognized Canadian post-secondary institution or proof of international equivalency. Or if you don't meet those requirements, if you don't meet that academic requirement, a minimum of 5 years work or military experience in supply chain management is required. And then we did go through the program at a glance. And I'll pass it back over to Mariana to talk about what we're here for, recognition of prior learning.
So the recognition of prior learning is nothing less than another way of applying to the SCMP designation program. So the direct form of applying is, if you don't want to go through the recognition of prior learning, you would just apply for membership with Supply Chain Canada, and of course get in touch with us, and then each institute is going to have their own process, but it's very straightforward. You just get in touch with us and we'll get you enrolled into the SCMP program. We'll assess if you have the eligibility requirements and get you enrolled into the program. Now, the recognition of prior learning is another way of applying to the SCMP program, where you can get your previous learning acknowledged and basically converted into credit exemptions into the program. So it's a way of fast tracking your SCMP designation and saving time and money while, earning Canada's key credential more faster. So the benefits of it are right there. I already went through them. So save time and money, of course, because you're not going to have to pay for the credits you get exemption from, and you're not going to have to spend that time doing that credit. You're also going to get to earn Canada's key credential faster, and you're going to be able to accelerate your career and get all the benefits that Tiffany just went through with the SCMP designation program. In here, I just put a little chart. I thought it was interesting because the recognition of prior learning is a fairly new program in Supply Chain Canada. It's been adopted in 2020, and this is how it's been growing. So we're finding it's been quite successful, and people are getting lots of benefits from it. In recognition of prior learning, we have it on our website as pathways to the SCMP designation, because the recognition of prior learning really allows you to or recognizes the learning that you've acquired through several pathways before you get to us. So we will acknowledge the knowledge that you acquired through academic programs. We will acknowledge the knowledge acquired through other professional designations, or the knowledge acquired through the Canadian Armed Forces, or even other learning and other work experience that you had. We also have the grandfathering of executives. So the grandfathering of executives is a little bit of a different one, because this one, we had a pilot program, and we're currently evaluating if it's going to be continued or not. So stay tuned for that. We're probably going to have news from it soon in April. But this one is really, we open nominations for, you know, C-suits and executives in supply chain who have like a vast experience. So these people are able to be nominated, and then we grant them the SCMP designation. Now, the RPL process for all the other ones works like this. So applications must be submitted online. So we have the RPL page, which I'm going to pull. Let me try to pull it up right here so everyone can see it. So you can get to it through here, pathways to SCMP designation. And then you can apply to RPL here. And then this page sort of like walks you through the whole process and tells you the documents that you can submit. You will have to pay an application fee. So it's $750 for non-members. But if you're a non-member, that $750 will include a 1-year membership, which you'll have to have anyways, because it's a criteria for the SCMP program. And if you're already a member, you pay $500 for the RPL assessment. Applications can take 2 to 4 weeks to review, and they're reviewed by the national office. So once the national office reviews them, they communicate their decision in writing, record the exemptions into your profile, and then direct you to the appropriate local or provincial institute for enrollment into the SCMP program. And this is a question I got previous to the info session. Applicants have the opportunity to make a one-time written appeal. So after they receive that decision, they have 7 calendar days to make this appeal. This appeal is going to be reviewed by a committee of Supply Chain Canada's board of directors. And there's a specific email that you can send the appeal to, which is rplappeals@supplychaincanada.com. Now, the documents that you must submit, this is a question we get a lot. So for graduates of academic programs, and mind you, RPL is going to consider any academic program. So if you have any academic experience that's related to Supply Chain Canada or to business, you can possibly submit that. The programs must have been completed within the past 5 years, and you must have achieved at least 70% grade in the relevant courses. Now, what are relevant courses? So when you go to our website, and I'm going to open it up again. Where is it? Here. You can find here in the SCMP designation, you can find a little bit of an overview of our modules and workshops. When you get in touch with our institutes, we can also send you a document with a program overview. And that's where you can get the learning outcomes of each of our courses. So if you have a relevant experience or a course that's related to procurement and supply chain management, for example, and that course has provided you with the same learning outcomes that we have here for our courses, then that's possibly a course that would grant you a credit exemption into our program. So you must have achieved at least 70% grade in this course. And we also have accredited programs. So again, on the website, if you go to the pathways to SCMP designation, you can find here the academic programs that have an accredited agreement with us. And this will give you a little bit of a chart with all the provinces and all the universities and colleges and programs that have an accreditation agreement with us and the block exemptions that they may give you. Now, mind you, these are not, a guarantee, because you still need to have completed them within the 5 past years, and you still need to have at least 70% grade for the relevant courses within these programs. But it will give you an idea of the exemptions that you may get through these courses. I'm trying to put Newfoundland and Nova Scotia are here. So we have Eastern Academy, Memorial University, and Eastern College here. So you can see the exemptions right there. I'm sorry. And graduates from non-academic programs, because the accredited programs, all it means is we have pre-assessed those programs, and you can basically just give us your diploma. Once you give us your diploma, we already know what the courses are about, and we're just going to see if you had the grades, and if everything's okay, you get the exemptions. Now, if you have another academic program that doesn't have an accreditation agreement with us, you can still submit it to RPL. You will just need to submit the official transcript showing the course name, credit hours, years, terms, and grades, so we're able to assess it, and also the course outline or syllabus. And for international credentials, it is also important that these credentials are assessed against Canadian education standards through a recognized third-party organization, such as World Education Services or International Qualifications Assessment Service. For those with work experience, so it's the same idea. If you can demonstrate that through your practical work experience, you have achieved the competencies and knowledge that are consistent with the learning outcomes of the SCMP coursework, we may grant you course exemptions into our program. Now, the documents that you must provide to show that are a chronological resume with your employment history, including start and finish dates for each listed position, and a short job description detailing current and relevant jobs within the field. It is also important to have an employer letter or document, or any document that you confirms that you have had that role, that allows us to verify that you had that role and responsibilities that you're applying for. Now, for other professional designations, same idea again. If you can show that you have the prior learning that you've achieved through that other professional designation is consistent with the learning outcomes, we may grant you credit exemptions for those. And the documentation that you can show for that is you have to show something that proves that you've successfully satisfied all of the requirements for that other professional designation. You have to show us date and certification of that designation, and also it needs to show its term, if it has a term, including expiration date. And course details, all the courses that you've taken for that designation, the name, the length of the course, the learning outcomes, and the grades. Now, for those with Canadian Armed Forces training or services, Supply Chain Canada has a special accreditation agreement for those who have completed the supply officer training. So you can see here, let me put the link there, but let me see if it will open. So in here, you'll get also the chart. So for that specific training, here are all the exemptions that you may get. And you may also get other exemptions, you know, if you have other military service and training that are somehow related to supply chain and have the same learning outcomes. So you can also submit that to us, additional documentation for additional exemptions. And for veterans, for military personnel and veterans with prior Canadian Armed Forces education or service experience in a supply chain related role, applicants must be required to submit their military personnel resume record or unit employment record for assessment. So those are specific documents that you can submit to our national office, and they'll be able to assess it and give you the required exemptions. Thank you everyone for joining us. And I hope to see you again on the next time. And feel free to reach out to us. If you want to reach out to the Nova Scotia Institute, you can email info.ns@supplychaincanada.com. And if you want to reach out to us at the Newfoundland and Labrador Institute, you can email info.nl@supplychaincanada.com. If you are on another part of Canada or the world, and you don't know who to reach out to in your local provincial institute, you can also email info@supplychaincanada.com, and just make sure to let us know where you are and we can direct you to the appropriate person. Okay, thank you very much and have a great day and a great rest of the week. Bye.